Summary of Strong Ground by Brené Brown. Introduction. There is a fundamental problem in modern leadership and in our daily lives. We are living in what Brené Brown describes as a maelstrom of uncertainty. We feel stretched thin by contradictory demands, and in this turbulent, complex work environment, we are witnessing bluster, hubris, and even cruelty being framed as acceptable or even strong forms of leadership. This creates a deep sense of instability, forcing us to choose between protecting ourselves and selling out our values. In Strong Ground, Dr. Brené Brown returns with an urgent call to reimagine the essentials of courageous leadership. Her central thesis is that to navigate this chaos, we must find our strong ground. This is not a rigid, brittle, or defensive position. Instead, Brown defines it as an athletic stance, a foundation that is flexible and grounded, providing both unwavering stability in the midst of uncertainty and serving as a platform for the fast, explosive change that the world is demanding. This book serves as a vital playbook, offering actionable and tactical insights to reclaim our focus. It is an unflinching assessment that rejects the falsehood that performance and wholeheartedness are mutually exclusive. Brown makes the case that we can and must lead from a place of connection, discipline, and accountability, and we will explore her findings through the course of this summary. Chapter 1. The Tenacity of Paradox. The foundation of Strong Ground rests on a concept that defies our modern desire for simple binary answers. This first section, which includes the tenacity of paradox and the wisdom of the human spirit, explores the idea that true stability comes from our ability to hold contradictory ideas at the same time. We are living in a world that constantly demands we be both and not either or. We are asked to be strong and vulnerable, courageous and afraid, optimistic and realistic. We must be leaders who can hold space for connection and enforce accountability. The tenacity of paradox is the muscle that allows us to stand firm in this tension without collapsing. This is the athletic stance Brown describes. Think of an athlete ready for action. They are not stiff and locked, nor are they completely loose. They are balanced, centered, and ready to move in any direction. This stance is our strong ground. It is rooted in our values, in what we know matters, and it gives us the integrity to act, even when we feel uncertain. This section also introduces core metaphors, like the Tush's push, which represents this paradoxical idea of a collective, powerful, forward-moving effort that is simultaneously grounding and agile. We are taught to find our stability not by having all the answers, but by being grounded in our why. In a world of bluster, the ability to embrace paradox is the first and most critical lesson of daring leadership. Chapter 2. Grounded Confidence and the Wisdom of Humility. Building on the foundation of paradox, the next section of the book explores the internal work required to lead. This part includes Ode to Negative Capability, on searching for reasons we might be wrong, and grounded confidence. The core concept here is that the bluster and hubris we see in the world is not true strength. It is a brittle defense against vulnerability. True strength, which Brown calls grounded confidence, is something entirely different. It is not cockiness. Instead, she defines it as the quiet assurance that arises from preparation, experience, vulnerability, values. It is a confidence built on the deep human work of connection, reflection, humility, not on the shaky ground of ego, control, or overcompensation. This is where the wisdom of the human spirit comes in. Negative capability, a concept borrowed from the poet John Keats, is the ability to exist in uncertainty and doubt without an irritable reaching after fact and reason. It is the courage to not have the answer, to be a learner, and to be on searching for reasons we might be wrong. This directly counteracts the idea that a leader must be the one who knows everything. Instead, Brown argues that the strongest leaders are the ones who are the most curious and the most willing to be wrong. This humility is the source of their grounded confidence. They don't need to prove they are right. They are only interested in getting it right. This athletic stance is therefore not just physical, but psychological. It's the ability to be stable in the uncertainty rather than trying to eliminate it with false certainty. Chapter 3. The Lessons of Daring Leadership. This section connects the concepts of strong ground directly to her previous work, Dare to Lead. Based on her research with over 150,000 leaders across 45 countries, Brown has synthesized the core lessons from daring leadership. The primary lesson is that courageous leadership is not a personality trait. It is a collection of 4 skill sets that are 100% teachable, observable, and measurable. This book serves as the playbook for developing these skills in a world that has become even more turbulent. This leads to the anatomy of transformation. How do we move from the old model of leadership, bluster, hubris, and fear, to the new model of connection and accountability? Brown reintroduces her 3-part Rising Strong process: the reckoning, the rumble, and the revolution. First, we reckon with our emotions. We must recognize when we are feeling reactive, vulnerable, and uncertain, and get curious about it, rather than lashing out. Second, we rumble with our stories. This is where we challenge the falsehood that performance and wholeheartedness are mutually exclusive. We have to rumble with the paradoxes, holding accountability and connection, for example. Third, we create a revolution. This is where we implement the new mindsets and skill sets until they become our new default. This transformation is about building new muscles. It is an unflinching assessment of what it takes to lead today, requiring us to move from a position of knowing to a position of learning, and from armored leadership to daring leadership. Chapter 4. The Strategic Playbook. This section of Strong Ground is the most tactical, providing the actionable and tactical insights for navigating complex environments. It includes chapters like On Managing Leading and Why We Need Both, Mission Critical, Mission Clarity, A Strategic Futurist on Steering into the Slide, and the Above-Below-the-Line Practice. Brown starts by clarifying the difference between managing and leading. We need both. Management is the skill of handling complexity. Leadership is the skill of navigating uncertainty. In a turbulent world, we must be able to do both. The key to navigating uncertainty is mission clarity. When everything is shifting, the only thing that can hold a team together is a clear and compelling mission. The phrase, mission critical. Mission clarity implies that achieving clarity is the most critical task of a leader. From there, we get the powerful metaphor from the strategic futurist of steering into the slide. When a car skids on ice, the worst possible instinct is to slam on the brakes or yank the wheel in the opposite direction. The only way to regain control is to turn into the skid. This is a perfect metaphor for leading in chaos. When we lose control when uncertainty hits, our instinct is to lock down, to double down on hubris, to become rigid. A leader on strong ground does the opposite. They steer into the slide by embracing the paradox, getting curious, and staying vulnerable and connected. Finally, she provides the above-below-the-line practice. This is a powerful tool for building the discipline and accountability she calls for. Above-the-line behaviors are ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Below-the-line behaviors are blame, excuses, and denial. A leader on strong ground lives above the line and creates a culture where it is safe for others to do the same. Chapter 5. The Culmination of the Work. The final section of the book integrates these concepts into a new model of leadership. It includes On Mastery, On Symphonic Thinking, Terminal Resistance, and The Big Reward. On mastery, in Brown's work, is not about being perfect or infallible. It is about committing to the practice, the daily work of staying in your athletic stance, reckoning with your emotions, and leading with accountability. This mastery leads to symphonic thinking. This is the antidote to the binary black and white thinking that defines our current culture of bluster. A symphonic thinker doesn't just hear one instrument, they hold the entire orchestra. They can hold the paradoxes, the nuance, the complexity, and the humanity of their team all at once. Terminal resistance is the final hurdle. It is the ego, the fear, and the lifetime of armor that will fight to keep us from becoming this new kind of leader. It is the voice of bluster, hubris, and cruelty that tells us vulnerability is weakness. Overcoming this resistance is the final and hardest part of the work. And the big reward? The reward for all this work is not just better performance or explosive change. The reward is wholeheartedness. It is the ability to lead from a place of connection, discipline, and accountability. It is the wisdom of the human spirit, the deep, grounded confidence that you are living in accordance with your values, and in doing so, providing a steady foundation for others to do the same. Final summary. Strong Ground teaches that true leadership in an age of anxiety is not about faking certainty, but about finding the stability to embrace uncertainty. We have the personal power to reject the false and exhausting choice between our performance and our humanity. By cultivating the tenacity to hold paradox, the humility to be wrong, and the discipline to be accountable, we find our strong ground. From this authentic stance, we gain the self-determination to be both an unwavering stability in a maelstrom and the platform for the fast, explosive change the world demands.
Thanks for listening. If you found this summary valuable, please like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts. To support the channel, all links are in the description.